Hello and welcome back to the Success Catalyst. Today, I am very happy to have Alison Bladh, a leading health and wellness expert with over 30 years of experience as my guest. Alison is a registered nutritional therapist and esthetician renowned for her work in women's health, particularly those navigating the challenges of perimenopause, menopause, and beyond. Through her online clinic, Alison has guided countless women worldwide, helping them embrace midlife with renewed vitality and confidence. She is the creator of the transformative Menopause 5-Step Breakthrough Pathway and other comprehensive programs, like the 21-day Reboot and Reset for women over 40, offering practical, evidence-based strategies to enhance overall well-being for women. Beyond her professional endeavors, Alison's life is enriched by her love for family, culinary arts, and a variety of outdoor activities, from scuba diving to beekeeping. Her dedication and multifaceted approach make her a beacon of inspiration for men seeking to thrive in midlife. So join me as I dive into Alison's journey and insights on empowering women to live their healthiest, most vibrant lives. Welcome to the show, Alison.
Oh, thank you, Nina. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for having me today on your podcast.
I'm very happy to have you, and I think this is going to be a very interesting episode today. I have so many questions to ask you. So let's start. Alison, your career spans over 3 decades in health and wellness. So how did your journey evolve from aesthetics to becoming a renowned nutritional therapist focusing on women's health?
Yeah, great question. Long story short, my journey actually started when I was a teenager because I had very bad acne as a teenager. And I mean, it's hard enough being a teenager, isn't it, without suddenly developing acne. And even at that age, I decided that I wanted to understand what was happening. So I did a bit of research and changed my diet to help my skin, and I saw a considerable improvement. But that kind of interest triggered me to become an esthetician because I became very interested in the skin. So I studied esthetician, beauty therapy, and I started working as a beauty therapist, really specializing in women that had, and men that had hormonal problems with their skin, because hormones create a lot of problems on the skin. So that's what I did. And I attracted a lot of women that were in that kind of midlife age group because there's a lot of things that can suddenly start going crazy with the skin. But I very soon came to realize, and I also saw that, you also need that inside piece. And I, in particular, remember a client that was a real light bulb moment for me. It was a lady that I had been working on with aesthetic treatments, and we'd had good results, but she had acne, but she also had super sensitive skin. And we'd been doing treatments and everything, and they'd been successful, but there was something missing, and we couldn't quite reach that the aim that we wanted with her skin. Anyway, she went away. 6 weeks later, she came back to me because I hadn't seen her or spoken to her in that time period, and her skin was amazing. It changed completely. And I asked her, what have you been doing? And she'd been to see a nutritional therapist. And they changed her diet. They'd given her, looked up if she needed any supplements, etc. And then I thought, wow, this is the missing piece. To really improve skin and overall health, you need to look at the inside piece. So that's when I went back to university and studied nutritional science, because you see so many skin issues that are related to deeper health. It isn't just coming from the outside, it's to do with chronic illnesses, for example. So that's kind of what led me down the nutritional path. And then that, the hormonal aspect has always attracted me very much to the perimenopause, menopause group of women. And it's an area that, I saw with my mother and grandmother and all the women when I was growing up. Nobody talks about it. You know,
Yeah.
it's a huge hormonal event in a woman's life. We talk about puberty, we talk about pregnancy, you know, other hormonal events. We never talk about menopause. So that is, you know, I've made it my mission to get out there and really help as many women as possible to thrive through this next phase of their lives.
You're totally right, Alison. I don't really remember seeing people talking about menopause that much. It's not something that we talk about. As you said, we talk about pregnancy, we talk about puberty, we talk about all kinds of other health aspects and milestones, let's say. But menopause is kind of like forgotten or taken as like something obvious, not that a big deal, but it certainly changes a lot in a woman's body and life. So it's a significant transition for many women. Um, can you share some key strategies from your menopause 5-step breakthrough pathway? I love the name, by the way, that help women navigate this phase with confidence and vitality.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things you can do, and
Mhm.
it's like you were saying, Nina, it is a big event, a hormonal event, but you shouldn't suffer. You know, get help, read, not, you know, gain the knowledge so you understand. So in my 5-step breakthrough pathway, from years of experience and seeing results with clients, you know, I've put together these 5 steps, and I'm very much into realistic help. You know, we all live a busy life. You can't be suddenly just changing everything. It has to be manageable things. And you know, some of the things that we go through in this pathway is, you know, balanced eating. What are you actually eating? You know, looking at what's on your plate. It's so important for women as we get older that we eat in balance. And you know, what does that actually mean? It means eating protein, healthy fats, whole grain carbohydrates, you know, in balance on your plate. And I always say to people, you know, when you're under 40, you can get away with what I call the 80-20 rule. So if you do 80% of things right, you know, every day, you know, you live
Yeah.
healthily and lifestyle, then you've kind of got the 20% there to play around with and have that glass of wine and you know, eat chocolate or do whatever you like. But when you get into menopause, unfortunately, it goes down to 90-10.
Okay, right. You don't have
It's
that
just
much room to play around.
no, you don't have as much room. And I can assure you, if you think, oh, I'll be fine, and you know, it just creeps up on you. I mean, I'm in perimenopause and it creeps up on you, and you have to look after yourself better. So balanced eating, getting rid of all the processed, refined foods, you know, sugar is terrible for the menopausal woman. And you know, it's shown in research, if you have a high sugar diet, it really can stimulate the menopausal symptoms, in particular hot flashes. Alcohol is terrible for hot flashes and sleep. So eating healthily can help reduce menopausal symptoms, you know, can help with weight management, which is another area that women can have problems with as we get older. So in the 5-step pathway, it's very much about balanced eating. It's about gut health. It's
Mhm.
about eliminating things that aren't beneficial for you, whether it's lifestyle or whether it's certain nutrients. And then stress management is key, because a lot of ladies, when we get older, you know, in the mid-40s, there's a lot going on in a woman's life. You know,
Mhm.
you've maybe got a career, you've got children at home, you've got elderly parents, and you're caring for everybody, aren't you? And then you've got kind of perimenopause creeping in there. It can all just become a bit overwhelming. So looking at stress, I tend to do a stress audit in this pathway where we really sit down and write down what are your main stressors daily. And I like to say to people, write down 4 things, easy things
Mhm.
that make you feel like give you comfort, that you like, and try and do one of them daily, even if it's just for 5 minutes. It could just be going outside sitting and listening to the birds while you're drinking a cup of tea. It doesn't have to be anything really complex, but it's small little things that really can help reduce stress. We look at sleep as well, you know, really looking at sleep hygiene. And also in the 5-step pathway, we look at mindset, you know, how are you actually feeling? Because menopause tends to have this negativity attached to it, and it's very easy to go down that rabbit hole, isn't it, of all doom and gloom and everything's terrible. So, you know, really working on that as well. So there's 5 steps that we go through during the 12 weeks.
But I think so the most important aspect of what you do during these 5 steps is to bring more awareness on what's beyond the surface, like what's beyond the symptoms. What's your mindset like? What's your diet like? What's your source of stress, main sources of stress? Maybe try to avoid them or try to work around them with acts of self-care. As you said, just going outside for a few minutes, listening to the birds, having a cup of tea can really ease up this amount of maybe cortisol or any other hormone that can be caused by stress, and as a result will cause more or worse symptoms of menopause.
Yeah.
So I know you have an online clinic that serves women globally. That's really amazing. I love that idea. So how do you ensure personalized care and effective support for clients across different cultures and lifestyles?
Yeah, it's so wonderful being to work online, because you can reach everybody. But I'm very much into personalized care and support, because we're all individuals. I work very individually. I gain a lot of information from the clients I work with before I even start working with them. So a very comprehensive health questionnaire is sent out, which really helps me understand the client's needs. And then a very detailed intake form, which gives me more information about the client's lifestyle, you know, their cultural background, their cultural needs. And then I put together a very individual program specifically for that person, you know, their lifestyle, what they need, what they can do, what is realistic, and a support program. So in all the programs that I offer, I'm very much into support, because that's really what makes change, isn't it? It's very easy for me to say, oh, I want you to do this and this and this, but actually doing it is the difficult thing. It's very much working on habit formation, changing habits. So that the support is very important, that I give that to my clients, and really customizing what the client needs to their specific preferences and the goal as well of what they want to achieve from working with me. And then educational resources that are tailored to the client's needs, community support. I have different groups which work very well for clients, because they can talk to each other as well. They're all going through the same thing. So having a community that people can you know, give each other support in as well. And also being flexible. I think you have to be flexible with working with people from all over the world, you know, time zones, you know, all of that. So it's all about personalized care to their specific needs.
Yeah, I really love that. I mean, I'm a mindset coach as well, and I do work with people all over the world. And sometimes the tip or the coaching process or the thing to do is quite simple, but not easy to maintain and to start doing and to keep doing. So the presence of community, that's very important that you mentioned that, especially I think with a health context. Like we need to talk about what's going on, and we need to hear that other people can also resonate with what we're going through, for example, and maybe get like a perspective or an overview of what are you doing? Did this work for you? Maybe I'll try your thing, or maybe let's do a brainstorming, or just share some wins and celebrate together. That's like very powerful and very useful support, especially between women. I guess I think.
Yeah, it
So,
really is. I see that as well in the online programs that I do, where it's groups of women. It's just it's just wonderful to see how they all, it's kind of like it's like the sisterhood. They all come
Yeah,
together, and if someone's struggling, they're all behind them, and oh, you can do this. It's lovely to see.
yeah. And that reminds me of what's said about the group's energy. You know, when you do like even simple things as yoga or anything by yourself, it's very different than when you do it like inside a group, because the energy kind of amplifies and you can see other people and you can resonate with that. And the energy of the group is really, really powerful and much more potent and as a result, efficient in seeing results if we work as a group, as a team.
Mm.
So
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with you.
I want to know more about your 21-day reboot and reset for women over 40. I know it has gained significant acclaim. So what inspired you to create those inline resources such as this program, and how do they empower women to take charge of their wellness journey?
Yeah, my 20, I just actually finished for the end of July, I finished a 21-day reboot, and it was amazing. It was just felt such a fantastic, I get so much energy from doing it. But what inspired me really initially was to do this program was the need. You
Mhm.
know, I had, because I work one-to-one with clients, I had clients asking me, can't we do online programs? Can't you do group programs? So there was a big need out there for accessibility. You know, people wanted something that they weren't tied down to, because with the 21-day reboot, even though it is live, everything's recorded, and you have a platform where all of the information, the videos, so you can actually go in and watch it and do it whenever it suits you.
Mhm.
So that actually was something that everybody wanted, that was very accessible. And it's really, I have a huge passion for helping women. I want all women to thrive and be healthy and have a wonderful life. And this was a way as well to reach more women. Um, because it cost wise as well, not everybody can afford to work with me on a one-on-one basis, and this opens it up way more, doing online programs, from economical aspects, so it can work for all women. And it's really easy, it's realistic. That's the feedback that I get from women that have done my programs, that it's realistic, it's very simple to do, and you see amazing changes even just in 21 days.
Mhm.
So it's wonderful. I love doing my online programs.
And I know that the 21 day is like the magic number for changing a habit or for implementing a new habit or maybe reviving a habit that we started and maybe forgotten. So I think it works the same for any kind of habit that you want to implement in your life, maybe a better diet, maybe a better lifestyle, maybe becoming more aware and doing the exercises over and over again through the 21 day. It does that kind of reboot. I love the word reboot, especially in health, because I believe that everything is reversible in our health and everything is curable. We just need to become aware of the source instead of healing the symptoms, like just suppressing the symptoms, becoming aware of the source and then following a step-by-step process or a very simple approach. But then again, we need to stay consistent and stay with the process and stay in that level of awareness. And I think the presence of a group that helps a lot. So now I want to talk more about menopause and maybe the common misconceptions that people may have about it and about aging that maybe you aimed to dispel through your practice. Can we talk more about that?
Yes, there's many misconceptions really with menopause, and I think, like we were saying earlier, it's also to do with the fact that nobody really talks about it. I mean, it is getting better. I
Mhm.
think it's in Europe, or in the United Kingdom, there's been a bit of a menopause revolution going on, hasn't there? People are, celebrities have got behind it. There's this wave. It's been spoke about more, but I mean, I work with many different countries, and that isn't the case in many countries. So there's misconceptions that aren't true. One, for example, is that, menopause is the end. It's the end of vitality. You're basically going to go through menopause and then you're going to be feeling terrible and that's it. That is not true. I mean, it isn't true in the slightest. This is a new phase. We have phases in life, and this is just another phase in a woman's life that we need to embrace with joy and passion. But it's having that knowledge to know what to do so you can thrive. So that's one misconception. And then another huge one is, weight gain is inevitable.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Which isn't true either. I mean, there's many things that you can do if you understand, what the mechanics are behind the reason that you might gain weight, mainly around the tummy area. There's many things that you can do. So that certainly isn't true. Mood swings, emotional, we can struggle when we lose our hormones emotionally. Mood swings, irritability. I mean, some women suffer from depression. That isn't permanent. It doesn't have to be permanent. But it's all about getting help and getting support, because there's so many things that we can do to help with those sort of emotional aspect to menopause. And then another thing that I get quite a lot when I talk to clients as well is that everyone say, oh, it's too late. It's too late to start healthy habits, or it's too late to change my lifestyle. That isn't true at all. It's never too late. It's never too late.
Yeah, I think, many people think it's too late because it's easy to get that approach in life and say, I can't do anything about it, and just blame it on age, on menopause, on hormones, on environment, on whatever you did in the past. That's easier, I think, in terms of mindset and self-responsibility to assume that, than to take responsibility and say, okay, maybe I have some influence, some power over this. Maybe I can make a change, because it's hard to make a change, and every person know that on a subconscious level. So it's easier to say, oh, it's too late, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, so true. It's easy, isn't it? It's kind of like that get out.
Yeah.
It's too late. But I mean, we all know it's never too late to change anything in your lifestyle or nutrition. It's never too late.
So I want to know more about your lifestyle, Alison. So you balance a busy professional life with a love of outdoor pursuits and culinary arts. So how do these personal passions influence and enrich maybe your approach to health and wellness?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a great believer in practice what you preach. You have to kind of follow your own advice. If I'm giving advice to people, I need to be following that too. And it's, for me, it's a way of life. I'm very passionate about being outside in nature. It gives me energy. It recharges me, and inspires me and gives me new ideas of how I can help women. So I'm a big believer in connecting with nature. Outdoor pursuits, even if it's just walking, it doesn't have to be anything super exciting or complicated, but walking in the forest, I just, it recharges you. Breathing in, doing some deep breathing while you're walking. If you've had a busy day, or I don't sometimes have time at lunch to go out, but if I do, I'll just even go for a 5-minute walk. And I'm also a big believer in pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, doing things. A lot of the pursuits that I do in my personal time are things that have really, pushed me out of my comfort zone, like scuba diving. A few years ago decided I would learn to play golf.
Okay.
Certainly pushed me out of my comfort zone, and it's an ongoing what was I say, frustration, but it is great because it pushes you to learn new things, and it makes you grow as a person. And I think as we age as women, we need that. We can have problems with our confidence going through menopause, and doing things that push you just a little bit, and you manage to do that, you think, well, that was actually really good. I could do that. It stretches you further and further. So that's what I try to do in my personal life. And I love cooking. My mother was a professional chef.
Okay.
So I was lucky to be in the kitchen as a child. And, now I'm very passionate about giving new recipes. And of course, being a nutritional therapist, I'm very passionate about food and what we eat. So I do spend a lot of time creating recipes, which, you see on all my Instagram and social media and blogs and everything. So, and easy. It has to be simple, for busy women, that you can go in the kitchen and put together something delicious in a very short period of time. That's my aim when it comes to food.
That's brilliant. I love it. And I love what you said about the kind of frustration that these activities may put you through. It's like good frustration. It's good stress.
Mm,
It's good level of adrenaline that you need to grow as a person as you learn something. As for example, you've been challenging yourself into learning golf. Me,
yeah.
for example, I've been trying to do some new activities and maybe dare to do some more of what I already do and I'm comfortable with, that pushes me through and maybe outside the comfort zone. And I think on some level it has some kind of rejuvenating effect. Like the more you grow, the more youthful you feel. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. I think it's like it revives you, doesn't it? The
Yeah.
more the new things that you do, and the more you push yourself to do things that maybe you're not 100% happy with, it revives you. Absolutely. It makes you feel, yeah, gives you
The
energy.
same way, I think it makes you feel the same way as a child when you learn something, to ride the bike, or you learn to fall, and then I don't know, you learn to swim, and you have this excitement of, wow, I acquired a new skill. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. No, I love it. It's like when you're playing golf and you actually manage to hit the ball and it goes like where you want it to. You think,
Yeah.
wow, that gives you a real buzz.
And those are good hormones. That this is
And
what
they're
we're
good
looking for.
hormones.
I love that.
Yeah.
So now, Alison, looking ahead, what are your aspirations for the future of women's health and wellness? And are there any initiatives or programs you're excited to introduce to your clients and audience?
Yeah, I mean, what I want to do is really, we were talking about knowledge,
Mhm.
really get out there and talk and help as many women as possible, encourage more women to adopt more of a holistic, healthy practices in their for their overall health. And it's about small changes, isn't it? So giving people that knowledge to make little things that can make a huge difference, because I think a lot of people are put off because they think, oh, I'm going to have to overhaul everything in my life, and it
Yeah.
really isn't like that. It's little things that we do daily that add up to our overall, health and well-being, and really to create a world where every woman is empowered, and informed and supported to thrive physically, mentally, and emotionally, not just through menopause, but through every stage of life. And what have I got in the pipeline? I've always got loads of exciting things going on. I just wish I had more time. Um, my online programs, that is something that I'm going to be working on further. I've had a lot of requests to do a specific weight management program. The 21-day reboot, actually, the last group that I had, there were quite a significant amount of women that were looking for weight management, even though it wasn't specifically focused on that, but all of them lost weight. So that was really interesting for me, because it was focusing on healthy eating, of course, and all of that, but they were all very happy with that. But I would like to develop, or I am in the process of developing, a weight loss program. I will be running the 21-day reboot again towards the end of this year. And something very exciting that I'm working on is I'm actually working on producing some treatments for menopause. So from my beauty therapy side, so a specific menopause massage,
Okay.
because sometimes you just feel exhausted and
Mhm.
stressed, and you're not sleeping, all of these things. And there's so many things that you can work on specifically for menopause. So menopause massage and possibly some more menopausal treatments to help women. And then also a book, you know, the never-ending book saga. I've been asked so many times to develop a recipe book.
Yeah.
And also I'm in the process of producing a book that's going to be focusing on, you know, nourishing the body from outside and inside. So, you know, all of those things for women 40 plus.
Wow, I love that. I'm so excited with all these projects. There's a lot going on in your life. That's really always so exciting. And I mean, you are growing, and your audience and your clients are growing with you, and everyone is evolving, and it's really really amazing the amount of difference that you put in people's lives. I'm really grateful for you, Alison, and you're so much needed in this world where we still do not talk about menopause enough, and we still think that the effects of menopause are irreversible, which today you proved this is not the case, and we can always do something about it, and it does not have to be a complicated thing. It needs to be something simple but persistent, and I think awareness and maybe taking a part of the responsibility about our health and our lifestyle is key to all good changes.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much, Nina.
It was really a pleasure having you, Alison, today in the Success Catalyst episode. Thank you to all our listeners who've been listening to this episode with Alison Bladh. And I'll make sure to put all your contact links, social media, website, and other ways that people can interact and connect with you in the description of the episode. So thank you again, Alison, for being an amazing guest today on the Success Catalyst. This was Nina Robert. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again in the next episode.